lot worse. Lord, they just been on his shoulder. All the major just said it affected my life and my family. I didn't think they did. Sometimes it was your fire. Sometimes it was moving here. You know, one reason or another, I just run all over. It's always better every time I do this.
I looked at it and said that I did. It's all good. I just wish the state of Texas could get a better clarity. I think this is how they teach science, believe in theology. Take it from the perspective
Hi, folks, we're close to getting started, so if you have a cell phone, a beeper, some other device, you may want to put it on airplane mode or turn it off, one of the two. Otherwise, somebody may call Tom and he'll have to take the call. And if you be here, you told your boss you were going someplace important and you're over here, well, this is going to be on YouTube, streaming live. So if you're someplace you're not supposed to be, make that phone call quick. And what we're going to do, at 10:30 we get started, I'm going to introduce the ceremony, then Reverend Tom Deviney will come in and say a few words, and we'll get him out because he has to take care of some other business, then we'll get into the program. But we got a lot of exciting things to talk about and a lot of exciting gifts that we want to give Tom Perkins. Anybody here not know Tom Perkins? Okay. Yeah. You do not get special dispensation. And just so we don't take a whole lot of time this morning, we're going to try to get this done in about 25 minutes. But we have a lot of information about Recognized Good on the table over here. Joel Kaufman is kind of the honcho for that. If you have someone you would like to nominate as a potential legend, such as Tom, we have some cards over there, or you can contact us. We have some information on Recognize Good. If you'd like to receive our newsletter, then we have an email sign-up, and you can receive the Recognize Good newsletter. Also, if you would like to hear more about Recognize Good and ethics in business and community, we have a speaker series. We will come out and talk to your groups about ethics in business and community and our annual awards luncheon. John, it is the 22nd of May of 2014. And that's where we recognize outstanding businesses that have been superb in what they do in working with their business and supporting their employees and supporting their customers, both internal and external. So it's a pretty good program. So I just want to get those two ideas out of the way. I'm sorry?
Also for nonprofits.
Also for nonprofits and individuals. Okay.
Just pass those around.
If you'd like to sign up, go ahead. Okay, so now we're ready for the audio check. Ryan, we all set? Okay. We have a couple more seats up front. Someone would like to come up front and sit? Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Bethany United Methodist Church here in Austin, Texas on this 18th day of September 2013. We are here to recognize our September 2013 legend, Mr. Tom Perkins. I have a few individuals I'd like to introduce first. Obviously our honoree, Tom Perkins, and his wife, Jerry. We have Mr. John Rudd, who will say a few words. Where did John go? Okay, John, thank you for being here. And we also have one of our past legends, Mr. Steve Barkley. And Steve will be joining us in our presentation. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Recognize Good, then get into the good part of the ceremony where we give the gifts. But right now, I'd like to introduce Reverend Tom DeVinny to come in and say a few words about the Pet Project and Tom Perkins.
Just going to say a couple of words. Most of you are familiar with the PET projects, Personal Energy Transportation, and John, I'm assuming that you're going to give them a full talk through later. This was a project that God laid on John's heart about 5 years ago, John, and he has taken the lead with that, and it has grown more than I think either one of us ever imagined when he started it off, and he's going to share with you some of the things that are going on with that project now. As they reach out to people pretty much around the world, right? And Tom have kind of a competition to see who hits me up first, usually when they start selling. And it's always been a pleasure to be with Tom. I heard that when this was told, Tom, that he was going to receive this award, he was speechless. It's hard for me to imagine. I've never seen him in that state, and I don't think we're going to see him that way today, I hope. But for all the teasing and that we do and everything, Tom, I want to say seriously that it's a real joy that you're being honored this way. And I think it is something that everyone in this room celebrates. So, blessing on you. Is it all right if I say a quick word of prayer? Thank you. Let's pray. Mighty Father, we give you thanks for Tom's life in the midst of this community, for all that he has contributed, not only in the area of Austin, but far beyond this community. We ask you to join us this morning in celebration of all that he has done, and of the fact that it comes from his deep faith and his deep love in you. We ask you to be with us and let your blessing rest on Tom in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, Tom, you have to live up to those words. I want to take you through a brief history of Recognize Good, and then we'll get into the presentations. Very simply, we started Recognize Good in 2009. Right here, you see Tyrex and ABC Home Commercial Services, and also the Samaritan Counseling Center. These two organizations, Tyrex and ABC, were award winners in the Ethics in Business Awards events. And they partnered with the Samaritan Counseling Center to develop what we call Recognize Good. And Recognize Good is a way to say thanks to your family, your friends, and your acquaintances. In 2010, we noticed that some of the recognitions coming in on those kinds of people were head and shoulders above the others. And so we developed what we call the Legends of Recognize Good. If you take a look at the list here, you see the legends from the class of 2012, these folks here. We also have the class of 2011, and you'll see Steve Barkley, right here, his name. Steve has joined us today. And also our class of 2011. And Kay Gooch was our very first one. So that's a brief history about Recognize Good, what we do, how we got started. If you would like to recognize someone, you can go to recognizegood.org and put in that recognition, or you can contact us directly, and we will handle that recognition. If you would like to nominate someone to be a legend, we too can handle that in the same manner. Now, to get on to the best part of the program, we will have some folks talk to us about this gentleman we know as Tom Perkins. And the first person I'd like to introduce and invite is Mr. Jim White. Jim is the nominator, so he's responsible for making this necessary.
I take that responsibility, by the way. And those of you who know Tom understand what I just said. Way to go. All right, here we go. Did you get that? Are we back okay? All right. I'd like to first begin by recognizing the ABC Home and Commercial Services, the Tyrex Group, the Intercom, and the Samaritan Center. And I commend all of you for this great program that you've initiated. As your mission statement says, Recognize Good provides an opportunity to give special thank yous in a special way to those who have done extraordinary service to our community. Today, our friend Tom Perkins is the recipient of that award. When it's wet, they don't move as quick. Tom is a born salesman, as most of y'all know. He began selling fresh out of the Marines and was employed by more business firms in 1963. For the next 35 years, he worked as a salesman, a district manager, a regional manager, and internal sales for Moore. Today, Tom may be a born salesman, but he's also a born leader. He hired and developed and trained sales forces throughout his career. In 1988, Tom joined the Northwest Rotary Club and is a past president. He's also a Paul Harris Fellow, +2, and named to the Rotary District 5870 Hall of Fame and received for the club last year the award for fundraising. Recognized Good, I think, would agree that they would endorse our motto, the Rotary motto of service above self. Most folks who meet Tom will remember him. He's blessed or cursed, depending on who you ask, with a commanding and enthusiastic voice that travels like an EMS ambulance sirens. He lives a couple of doors down from me, and I often hear him before I see him. Tom's never met a stranger, and he extends his hand of friendship to all. That is, unless you engage him in some serious kibitzing. With his dry sense of humor, you better be on your toes, because he'll kick your you-know-what if you're not. He's also extremely good-hearted and often does unexpected acts of kindness. For example, my wife, Karen, was scheduled for knee surgery. We were there at 6 o'clock, and sure enough, who walks in at 6:15? Tom. He kidded and encouraged her, and then led us in prayer, and then he was gone. The Fruit Meister, as we know him during the annual Rotary Fruit Sale, is the spirit and the motivation behind the club's yearly fundraising activities. Each year he sets goals for everyone to make what he calls par. And the majority of the folks actually make par or exceed par. And during his 17 years of being the chair of that, he has been instrumental in raising $1,050,000. And every year the club gives back the net dollars received in the form of scholarships, grants, and awards. Yes, Tom is a salesman extraordinary. He is a leader that gets things done, and he'll tell you all of his sales awards are fine, but his participation in the Northwest Austin Rotary Club in the fruit sale has given him extreme pleasure and gratification. Tom's truly a leader who's a doer and believes that the opportunity to serve is unlimited if you just make up your mind to embrace service above self. Now, if my machine were working, you would see here the 17 organizations that we support. And of those, are we ready for the other one? Pet? He selected, and I very much appreciate, since I'm involved with PET, he hasn't selected PET as his recipient of his Pay Forward Award. And I'm going to show you a short video of PET for those of you who may not know about it, to give you an idea of why we believe in it so much and why we think this thing gets people out of the dirt and gives them the true gift of mobility.
This isn't going to fall, is it, Jim?
I don't know. I didn't put it over there.
So, Tom, you're a former Marine?
That's it.
Any
Excuse me. No such thing as a former Marine.
Ooh. What are you?
A Marine.
Any other Marines in here? Okay, all the Marines need to stand up. This is like Paris Island. Graduation. Gentlemen, thank you for your service. encompassing any former Air Force in all those who had their hand raised joined the Air Force to avoid military service. Okay, Army.
Oh, Navy?
Coast Guard.
Of course, the Sooners. Don't forget the Sooners.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're not gonna have the video after all. Yeah, technical. Ed Pastor's doing his thing.
First Bill told when
Ready? Okay, what we will do at this time, if we can move that presentation to the very end after the gifts, we certainly appreciate that. That'll give guys time to pick that up. Jim, John, Rod, would you like to say a few words? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Rudd from Personal Energy Transportation, Austin.
As Tom had mentioned, 5 years ago, Personal Energy Transportation of Austin got started. We're a full affiliate of Personal Energy Transportation International, which was the original dream of a retired Methodist minister and a retired missionary who came back from the Congo and recognized a real need for these off-road wheelchairs, if you will, throughout the developing nations in the world. Since that time, there are 29 pet shops around the U.S. and in foreign nations building pets. Austin is one of them. Through the past 5 years, we have built almost 400 pets and shipped them to 9 different countries around the world. Pet International as a whole has shipped over 100 countries around the world. And one of the things that's important, because we're a volunteer organization, is we raise the money to buy the materials to build these pets. Tom, not only does he sell, is he the fruit meister, but he has also helped us significantly over the last several years with our...
Now it's my pleasure to introduce the president and CEO of the Tyrex Group Limited here in Austin, Mr. Andrew Cooper.
Thank you, George. I really appreciate the introduction. So I have a couple of hats. One is I'm president of Tyrex and also on the board of Recognize Good. And truly, this is a great day to recognize and celebrate this great act of kindness that Tom has performed over a number of years. And I think one of the things that I laid awake in bed over the past couple of nights and thinking about this is just how many lives you've impacted and how many other people's lives you've impacted. It's truly amazing, and almost to the point where I'm speechless to think about how much this is paid forward in so many different ways. It's hard to articulate. So again, thank you for everything that you've done, and it truly is amazing. Thank you.
So, what I'd like to do is ask Mr. Steve Barkley to come up. I see that Jim had to make a quick exit.
So first we present you with the smile. Okay. And we have and also a gift card.
All right.
All right.
Familiar as a living remembrance of this service.
All right. The familiar ad is the living remembrance of the service.
Lovely, thank you.
And for Tom?
Tom, I was going to give you mine, but it has Andrew on it, so that one's got your, that one's personal for you, okay?
Andrew, yours will be a little large.
And this is the Book of Good Deeds.
The Book of Good Deeds.
All right.
So,
What a guy.
and up until that last comment, I was going to hand him a real check. But I'm going to slide you the one for photographs.
And for this last one, John, if you'd come forward. Andrew, give this to Tom to pass on to John.
So a true spirit of everything that Tom does.
Now, I promised Tom that he'd have a chance for rebuttal, so Tom, the floor is yours.
Good to see you this morning, Robert. Thank God you came, Sybil, I can say that. Folks, I am going to be indulging in well springs of something this morning that most of you didn't think I knew about or could even spell. Humility. As a matter of fact, I am humble in the face of this award because it comes as a result of opportunity. God-given opportunity. In 1973, in Houston, Texas, I had been 10 years with More Business Forums, and I was bouncing from pillar to post and doing an outstanding job of bouncing from pillar to post. And one night, God came to me and said, "I got a blind date for you, Perk." I said, "I don't like blind dates, dear God." He said, "Well, I got it for you anyway." I said, "Well, okay." So I went to Conroe, Texas, and met Jerry Perkins on a blind date that I never wanted to go to. And that was in October the 16th. And December the 14th, we were married and have been married for 40 years ever since. That is God-driven opportunity. And then I came to Austin. Again, God-driven opportunity. I came to Austin and I met a fellow by the name of Buckley, Tim Buckley, who's not here, I see, this morning, which is good because I can say nice things about him. Tim was a member of the Northwest Austin Rotary Club. And I had just become a member of the Northwest Austin Rotary Club, and I was going to be the president, and so I picked Tim as my incoming president. And he started badgering me at that time about this walk to Emmaus, thinking that I, a good Baptist boy, didn't understand what the walk to Emmaus was. I said, "What do you think, Tim? I'm a heathen?" He says, "No, but you don't know what the walk to Emmaus is." And he had stayed after me for 3 years. And in 2001, he got me convinced to go. I said, "I don't even belong to a church." Enter Tim Buckley again. He brought me down here, and I met Tom Devaney. And then I said, all right, now I can go to the walk to Emmaus, right? The opportunity was there, and so I was walking around the halls, and I saw Ed Owens, a fellow Rotarian. He invited me to the Searchers Sunday School class. And there you are, the three most exciting things in my life, the most important things in my life, the opportunities. My sweet Jerry Louise, Austin, Texas, Northwest Austin Rotary Club, Balcones, that's more than three, isn't it? Balcones, Bethany Methodist Church, and the Searcher Sunday School class. I give all the glory to God and all the grace. But the opportunity to raise these funds over the years and contribute them to one of my favorite charities, the charity I have seen grow and I have seen people work, came as a result of working with my Rotary Club, Northwest Austin Rotary. They have given me the opportunity to use skills I had and apply them to a product that I have a deep, abounding faith in, good, solid fruit from South Texas, and we raised funds. We, as a club, became a fundraiser. We do service above self, and I'm so proud to have the opportunity to work with my club, with my Sunday school class, with my church, and people, I'm proud to have worked with you because most of you have been customers at one time or another, and guess what? Stand by. Thank you.
Great words. But now you've convinced us that you and Jerry will be here whenever we have our presentation of the class of 2052. All right? Another 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. I'm going to ask Tom and Jerry and some of the other folks to come up for some photographs, then we'll show the video if we can get that thing working. But thank you for coming out this morning and sharing this time with us and with Tom and the rest of the folks here. It's been very important. If you have a chance to say thanks to somebody, go ahead, say thanks. Use Recognize Good to say thanks across the world. If you have a nomination that you'd like to make, someone like Tom, someone like Steve Barkley, feel free to get us that information and we will work with it. Tell someone about the person who changed your world through Recognize Good. Thank you very much. John, if you would come forward, and Andrew. Joel.